I'm Josh with Waupaca Community Media, here to get the community up to date. We got Ron Sari from the Waupaca School District, Aaron Jensen, say the Waupaca, and newcomer Greg Groman, who is our shared grant writer between the school, chamber, and city. And welcome, everyone.
Good morning.
So we got Greg here. We got some exciting news on some grants coming up we'll touch on in a minute. We've got a important visitor coming to the community that we'll talk about toward the end of the interview. But the first thing we want to talk about is what's going on at the schools. And right now, summer school registration underway, whether it's to get caught up, whether it's some of the fun classes. Ron, tell us about summer school.
Summer school starts right after our school year ends, that next week on Monday, and you go 5 days a week for summer school. It's a half a day, not a full day, but we do offer breakfast and lunch, so that's a positive piece as well. And right now, if you're in K-8, you can register for summer school. We've got a lot of openings left. We are only about 2/3 registered of where we should be. So we're just getting the word out, hoping people can get online and register or call the office and register. And then the high school summer school registration, that'll begin on Friday of this week. We hope to have that link, that portal online for that to take place.
And you mentioned summer school is going to be 5 days a week in person, and that's the news we want to share about next school year. I guess, hopefully no unforeseen changes in the COVID situation. What are we expecting for the fall school year?
Yeah, I don't know if I've been very clear. As a district, we've been clear. At this point, as we look at the data, we are planning 5 days a week in person education learning in the fall. And that's the plan, and it would have to take a significant change in the way the data is going in order for us to change that. But we are open to continuing looking at the data. That's part of how we do business.
And anyone who watches these interviews on a week-to-week basis knows how close Ron watches that data. And because of that data, we've got some news on graduation, 8th grade promotion, and prom because of how good the data is looking. What are those looking like?
Well, believe it or not, our graduation will be inside. So it will be taking place at the high school in the field house. There are some restrictions still. We're still doing the same mitigation pieces that we always have been. So graduates will be allowed to have 4 guests come. It will also be live streamed. So those who can't make it or don't want to attend in person, they can watch it live streamed. We have X's or we will, if we don't already, have red X's on the seats and the bleachers in the field house, 10 feet apart. So families that live in the same household can sit together in a cluster and everybody be spread out. And we're very confident this will be a very safe event. It's June 5th, and those seniors won't be coming back to school, other than those that are attending the prom the following Saturday on June 12th, which Josh also is going to be inside the field house for those 2 hours of prom from 7 to 9. And that's after the school year is already over.
Very, very good news to hear this progress. So we got Greg on the call. City Council just recently approved an adoption of a grant, and I'm going to give all the abbreviations of it. And Greg, you can explain what it is. It's a CDBG-CV grant. What is that?
That's right. So that stands for Community Development Block Grant Coronavirus. This is a $1.1 million grant that the city won in response to the coronavirus. What this grant does is it makes just over $1 million available to people in this area who are low to moderate income households. So that's defined as 80% or less of area median income. And it makes money available to those households for rental assistance, mortgage assistance, lot fees, and utility assistance. So it's a very comprehensive housing assistance package, more comprehensive really than anything else that's out there. We'll be working with CAP Services to roll out this program. The advantage of working with CAP is that CAP Services, they're the most experienced people out there locally in administering complex assistance programs or large assistance programs, and they'll be able to make this program available through a online pre-application process They have language support available in English, in Hmong, and in Spanish, and I'm sure that they could work in other languages as well where applicable. We're expecting this program to be rolled out on the 1st of June, perhaps sooner, perhaps later, but around the 1st. And if you're interested and are qualifying, you'll be able to go online through CAP in order to fill out a form to apply for funds. On the other front, with grants for the city right now, we're also looking to put in a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant to help fund the splash pad at Swan Park. We also have a couple of grants out there that'll be submitted to help rehabilitation projects at trails from the Eco Park trailhead, as well as the boardwalk at Swan Park. And then from the school perspective, there's some movement here as well. About a month or two ago, the school district received a grant from the Fox Valley Community Foundation's Basic Needs Giving Partnership program to support the partnership of Gaggle Therapy. Gaggle Therapy provides remote teletherapy sessions kind of on demand for students with acute mental health problems, which of course we've seen a lot of with COVID this year. So that grant's already in hand, and Gaggle Therapy should be rolling out any day now at the school district. On the horizon, the school district will also be applying for a state school-based mental health grant at the end of this month, with the idea that that grant would be used to hire a mental health coordinator to better enhance referral programs between the different mental health agencies that the school district works with currently, as well as provide some money for training on a trauma-responsive, non-adversarial model of care for children with challenging behaviors. So all of this should be done to significantly enhance the school district's mental health response.
Very cool.
Josh, if you don't mind me stepping in for a second here, just a reminder, what you see here in Greg is a result of a donation from Mr. and Mrs. Tim and Joy Neville that we've talked about back when I was Park and Rec director. Even there was conversations on how, there's got to be ways to hire a grant writer and have that person be worth what it costs to have that grant writer on board. And this grant, so to speak, from Mr. and Mrs. Neville was just really set out to prove that. And I think Greg is doing a fantastic job and is proving that time and time over again. You can see it's well over $1 million that he's secured. And are we even about, a little over 6 months in, Greg, maybe?
But yeah, about right. Yep.
Yeah. So I know we're excited. I know I speak for Ron and myself and Terry about what this first 6 months has looked like. And I think our community is just better off because of it. So Greg gets to focus and really dive in to those things and those opportunities that either the city, a school district, and chamber don't have the resources to look into on a day-to-day basis. And that benefits our whole community because those things are often quality of life type items. So it's going awesome.
And there's money out there, and why shouldn't we get it?
Absolutely. And he's been a bloodhound on those pots of money.
Very talented. We're so pleased. 1.2 million so far. He's been able to write and get approved to bring into our community. Good job, Greg.
Thank you.
And we want to close out this week's update. We've got Senator Sen Baldwin visiting on Friday. Aaron, you can tell us about that visit.
Yeah, so it's not often we get state representation visiting our city or our area. So Sen Baldwin will be coming this Friday in a few days. There will be a public listening session that'll be scheduled from 1 to 1:30. And depending on the weather, we'll see kind of where we're at. We might be on the front lawn of City Hall, or we might be in council chambers. So I encourage anyone to stop by City Hall during that time. Again, 1 to 1:30 this Friday. And then kind of just before that, I know Senator Baldwin is going to meet with some elected officials. I believe Terry and Ron are coming from the chamber and the school district. And we're just going to talk about what's going on in Waupaca. We've seen a recent housing boom, so to speak. We've seen home values go up. We've seen maybe a need for workforce housing. We're going to talk a little bit about, what opportunities may exist from tax credit programs and such, and maybe we'll get Greg involved in that later too. And then we're going to highlight our downtown. Justin, I think, is going to take us on a short little tour of the Main Street project. And then we're going to talk about our business incentive program. And yeah, it'll be a great opportunity for us to get to communicate with someone that has our interest at the state level. And we look forward to that. And we encourage others to come out from that 1 to 1:30 time period. So.
Well, Ron, Aaron, Greg, thanks for the time to get the community up to date with all the good things going on.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Josh.